It's Saramonic Part 2 time. We have done a full test with this lavalier and you may not even have noticed. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety of Wooks Triple XL, and I have another Saramonic product, this time the Blink 500 Pro B1. There's a B2 as well, which is pretty cool. So it's basically exactly the same as this, except it's got a dual receiver. So if you need two lavalier setups for doing interviews, etc., then maybe look at that one. But if you need one, like me, and you're just doing vlogging and content creation with your DSLR, your mirrorless, or your smartphone, then this is going to be right down your alley. The Blink 500 Pro is really nicely put together stuff. Like, I've got to say, the overall build quality and stuff at the price point is exceptionally good, and they are trying to compete with a certain R-based company, I think they're doing a pretty damn good job of it, because price versus performance and quality over here, like I say, it is astronomically good. So let's start off with what's in the box. Well, you get this hard shell clamshell case, which then encompasses the charging dock, which then has the the receiver and then the TX, or the voice side of it, and they are labeled as such. And when you put them into the dock, then from the dock they will be able to charge. Then you also get a variety of cables and connections, so that obviously you can connect it to your camera and your smartphone. So they do have a TRS, a normal straight stereo connection for the receiver. Then they do have a TRRS to a single or normal TRS connection for your smartphones. So the triple plug, which is from this side, will connect into your phone, and then this side will go into the receiver, and then it'll convert that signal from being a three-way, because on the smartphones you've got your left and right stereo and your mic all included in one. This I isolated so that it goes stereo into the mic on the other side. That actually is an option on the microphone. You can do mono or stereo, so that actually does work, which is pretty cool. Then you get a normal micro USB cable, which is going to be for charging your various receivers and your talking ends. And then you obviously get a Type-C cable, which is going to connect into the back of the charging unit itself. 5 volts, 1 amp for that as well. Not exactly a large amount, and most of us have 2 amp chargers now for our smartphones, so you can just use that. It's exactly what I used to be able to charge this dock. Then you get a lavalier mic, as well as a very anti-wind extra fluff job, which then connects directly into the actual TX receiver itself, which is pretty cool. And so that has a microphone built into it on the TX receiver, so you can just clip that on and then use that. Or if you want lavalier as I use it, which is how I did test it and did a very comprehensive test, you'll see I did a sneaky on y'all, but this is by far the best way to connect it up. It's got a really nice clip. It's all default and standard and very well put together, rubberized, etc. Everything is nicely set up. You can see from the close-ups, the quality in the product is very, very high. Now with this system, how they're working it is you've obviously got your RX and then your TX, and you can monitor directly from your RX controller. It is quite a lot heavier, and I'm assuming that's got to do with that monitoring and then some battery, etc. that's in here. But the TX is extremely, extremely light. I can't stress to you how light this actually is. Both of them have very nice OLED displays on which you can see your volume level and do your various settings. There's nothing overly amazing as far as settings and stuff go in these. They just literally have some receiving and outgoing volume, which you can plug into them. You've got your battery meter to be able to check there on the bottom what it's at, and then obviously your signal quality, which is pretty good to have. The one nice thing about this TX receiver, which I'm going to show you live, is it actually has a VU meter inside of the receiver. So you can actually see straight on here, before you even go to post, if your audio is peaking or not, at least from the receiver's end. What's picked up by your camera or smartphone obviously is going to vary. You'll obviously need to play with it a little bit out of box to get it at the right setting. Generally, what I suggest though is you have it a little bit lower on your receiving end, or maybe include some attenuation depending on your camera or your smartphone, and then rather boost it in post after the fact. But the overall tone from these, the bass tone from these, is vastly superior actually to what I'm using at the moment, which is a Boya UHF system, which I'll flash for you on the screen quickly. But that's what I've been using, and I honestly have to do quite a lot in post to make that video, well, or make that audio sound pretty good. Whereas with these, I trimmed back a lot of that, mastering and stuff that I'd done on these, and really only needed the acoustic echo cancellation because of my environment. It is very, very echoey, but using them in the performance of these has been absolutely phenomenal. Battery life as well is pretty much exactly what they quoted. I connected it, because it's just a normal microphone, I connected it up to my PC and then had it as an inline microphone and carried on with my day, just checking in on the battery and stuff. And I got very close to 8 hours worth of constant usage of these devices. So I can vouch for it that their battery life claim is pretty good. And then it's just straight into the dock after that. And the next time you take it out, you'll be able to use them. 2000 milliamps worth of stored power inside the dock itself. And these use 300 milliamps. So you could probably charge them 600, split that into 2000, 3 times over from the dock before you'd actually need to charge them. So you're looking at walking sort of usage time of nearly 24 hours, which is pretty damn spectacular. The clips as well, all are really, really nice, and the finishing on these is pretty good. Battery charging and stuff is taken care of by connections on the back of that there, which obviously then fit into the dock, as you've seen on the video. The variety in connections is also really nice. The fact that you can monitor directly from the RX is a really, really nice touch to have. And it all just works pretty damn seamlessly. It's very easy stuff to work with. Like I say, there's nothing overtly complicated on this. It's just made to be a high quality, high performing product. And so without further ado, without further gilding of the lily, let me actually show you a live demonstration of it raw and then with filters on. You see, and you needed a lot of connections. You can have at least 6 off of this, and then obviously with the Molexes you could adapt these further, so you could have 9 off of that, 9 drives off of that. That's really, really not bad. I'm actually okay with this triple single setup as well. Like I said, one big GPU I think is the idea with this, and it's not overwrought, this power supply, with extra unnecessary connections. This is what I would say is so now you see I did a big sneaky on you and did the entire other video with these two with this microphone set, and then now I can give you basically a 20-minute demonstration of it. The things that I really appreciate about this are the quality in the 2.4 gigahertz channel that they're using. This is not a UHF like my other microphone system, yet it has way less interference potential. I literally tried to cover it up and give it some potential interference for that video and for my testing, and I just couldn't. And they rate this 2.4 gigahertz up to 100 meters, which is sick. My UHF system is rated to 200 meters, and you'll still see in some videos here and there, I do have a little bit of you can hear some sort of interference, like a little bit of buzzing here and there every now and then. So yeah, not ideal, right? And it's sometimes I've had to delete entire sections of content and start again, and eventually you kind of get to a point where it's like, okay, fine, it is what it is. It's, this microphone system is 99% of the time has been good to me, but compared to this, I would honestly much rather have bought this for the same sort of money, because I'm not exactly far from my camera, which is one thing, and the dock and the travel capabilities of this mean that I could take it and use it for vlogging, whereas my other kit is a little bit against that in certain terms, especially where battery life is considered. That kit will only last me about 2.5 hours worth of constant usage, so I have to charge it weekly. Whereas with this, I would probably be able to charge the dock once a month, or just leave the dock plugged in and plug these into it whenever I need them, and then they'll be constantly topped off. Lithium batteries do prefer that as well. They don't like to be completely deadened consistently. So with that in mind, this kit is actually very good for that, because it's going to constantly top off the receiver and the batteries that are in use most of the time. Whereas this is a lot larger dimension battery. It's got an indicator on the front of it as well. So if it does run low, then I can just charge the dock up. But basically, I'm wireless as possible where everything is concerned, whether it be charging, whether it be the microphone setups. It's very nicely done. It's very well thought out, very well put together, and you can see why they're trying to compete with that other R brand, something like Linode. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Anywho, that is all I have for you on the Blink 500 Pro. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.